Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're just going to go over some of the things that are going on in Raid right now. So it looks like Plarium surprised us, at least for me. When I woke up, we got a nice little surprise here with the 50% gear removal cost. So a full 3 days to do this. It's a really good event if you guys are planning to rebuild some teams, rebuild some champions. So definitely save you guys a pretty substantial amount of silver. So looking, you're probably looking at like 250 to 500k savings per champion just from removing gear. So it definitely adds up. It'll save you a couple million silver over 3 days. But the best part about this is that it lines up really well with what they have going on right now. What they have going on right now is that they have a 3x speed event, so speed gear from Dragon, so that's most important. Kind of weird that they don't run it together with the Dragon tournament. Maybe that's a mistake, maybe that's intended, but that's a really good event if you need speed gear. Although the Banner Lord aspect might be hard for newer accounts. I'll try to find out a good Banner Lord team, but it probably won't be free to play, and I probably want to farm as high as I can to get the best speed gear that I can for my account. It also lines up really well with this anniversary event, which requires you to do a dungeon diver and a artifact enhancement. So as you can clearly see, like this gear related events with the dungeon diver and the artifact enhancement, and then you got the removal cost. It's just a really good lining up of a bunch of events with one singular action in game, which is basically like re-gearing and farming gear for your champions. So it's actually a really good event, so I will say that. But in the same day, Plarium actually made a really big mistake, and this path event, they actually originally released the event, I believe a couple hours ago. They released the event maybe like 4 hours ago, and there's a direct line from here to the void shard, down to the stone, down to the key. So that's what happened, and people saw that line and said, hey, that's a good deal for a void shard and a big stone, and then they went for it. And because it's artifact enhancement, it's pretty easy to spend the silver and whatnot. And then you know what, in the end they got kind of screwed because Plarium basically shut down the event, and they reset the event as it is currently, and they just refunded a very small partial amount to the players that did spend the silver. So I'm not sure what I mean. I've heard of some people getting really messed up, like it cost them, I don't know, 80 to 100 million silver to get all the way down here, and then they only got back like, I don't know, like 200k or a million or something back. And so it's just absolutely unbelievable. And Blizzard's already announced that they will be issuing compensation, but unless they're compensating you like, I don't know, a sacred shard and like 20 million silver or something, I don't know, is not going to be enough to offset like a void shard and a big stone. Like it doesn't matter what they give you, they're not going to give you a big stone and a void shard. So I feel really bad for those people that started the event like right away, and then obviously just got screwed by Plarium's like incompetence. And this happened in the previous path event where they had like the paths connecting with other paths that didn't make sense, or it was misrepresented. And you know what, I guess at Plarium it's really hard to draw lines properly, because they just can't draw lines properly. Like for this anniversary event, they just can't draw lines properly. So yeah, it's just a big mistake, and as a business they really should just compensate the users, and hey, here's a full refund kind of thing. And yeah, that's the business aspect of it, right? But that's Plarium. They're gonna try to juice the customer the best they can. So but anyways, I'm gonna go over the event as I see it right now. So like I said, dungeon diver, artifact enhancement, and so I drew up the path here. So sorry, it's a bit of a mess, but it's not really a bit of a mess. So I'll go over here real quick. I don't want to take up too much time on this video. So we got the big. So the big is the green. The green would help you pick up the one Lego book, the big stone. So that's the big with the green, 59.5k total points. If you're going for the big stone and the Lego book, I think personally I would probably go for the big stone and then the Lego book, because for endgame players, big stone, you get the chance at that insane blessing that's gonna boost up one of your meta champions or one of the champions that you use very often. So I'm definitely going for the big stone. Personally, here's the double book is the two reds. So the two red on both sides. Sorry, you can start on either side, Septimus or Baron. They're both at the same price coming down. So you can start either whichever portrait you prefer. I just start on the left because just naturally, you read on the left, so I start on the left. So you got the two red books in the red path. It's gonna cost you 41.7k total points. So you got two books, you got two epic books, a bunch of coins. I think for maybe mid game, actually it's hard to say, because it's like if you have this much silver, you probably don't need the books that badly, and you might benefit from a void shard. So I don't know. I mean, you can definitely go for the two books, but yeah, that's how much it's going to cost you, 41.7. You're not getting too much in return, you're just getting two books. Kind of a decent deal, I guess. Moving on, we got this teal, which is the big stone only. This one's probably the worst value because you're just going for a big stone. You're not really getting too much else. Like the barrel's worthless, coins are fine, but you're just going for the big stone, and that costs you quite a bit. So you're trading two books for a big stone, roughly. Whether that's worth it for you, it depends on your account, but I would recommend the big stone only for basically players in the end game that are looking for very small, well, I mean big upgrades on their champions, but they have a specific need for their champions. But I generally say the books are more value than the stone. And then finally we have the void shard, which I think most people would probably go for. This is actually a pretty good deal, like 12.2. You don't get much, but you get the 5-star ore, which is kind of worthless, and then you get the void shard at 12.2. So I did just a rough breakdown of what it's going to cost you. So this is for points total for 6-star upgrading. Most of your points will come from upgrading, not dungeon divers. You'll be doing dungeon divers just for some of the events, but most of your points will come from spending silver. So if you don't have any silver, this event's going to be really hard for you. I would aim for obviously the lowest hanging the resources. So you could go for the portrait, the coins, the gems are fine, the charms are fine, and if you can somehow get to the void shard, that'd be massive. But this event's gonna be expensive for silver. So these are the total points in left hand column for upgrading 6-star artifacts. In the middle column I put roughly how much it costs, and then on the right hand side column I put how many items you roughly need to max out the big one. So I was looking at this and it's like, okay, roughly 300k to go to level 12. You need about 400 items. So 300k, 400 items. You're looking at 120 million silver, roughly, to do the big path. So the green one. So the stone, the book, epic book, and the barrel. That's really expensive. 120 million. Yeah, that's really expensive. And then you have if you're upgrading 60, if you're upgrading to 16 only, it's going to take you roughly, I put 2 million. If you're doing accessory, it might be even more, 2.5 million. It might be less, it might be 1.5 million for some gear pieces, but on average about 2 million. I'm looking at about 77 items, which is quite a bit to take to 16, and that's going to run you about 150 million. So if you put this in like those type of terms, straight silver, no dungeon divers, you're looking about 100 plus million, 120 million, 120, 150 million just for the big stone and the Lego book. Personally, like if I'm this deep, I would probably get the void shard as well. The other way to look at this is to go for 2 books and the void shard and pay roughly the same price. So you can go 2 books and the void shard and skip the stone. Personally, I want the big stone and I want the void shard. So I might go big stone, Lego book, plus void shard, which will cost me about 82,000 points, which will probably cost me about 200 million silver if I went all silver. Obviously, I'm going to be doing dungeon divers, so hopefully it'll be a lot less. It's quite a bit of silver. I don't even know if I have that many items to upgrade personally. Most of my items are pretty upgraded, but we'll see. It's going to be a pretty deep event. It's going to last 3 days, so we'll see what happens, how many points I can accumulate. I did a little bit of upgrading in the morning. It's only 7,000 points, so there's a long way to go. But I mean, I have, luckily for me, I have almost 1 billion silver. So I'm well prepared for an event like this. It's basically just converting silver into resources for your account, which is totally fine with me. Whether it's worth it or not, it's, you know, you can make silver again. Those resources, you can't just go into a shop and buy them with silver. So at this case, I think I'm going to basically purchase them with silver during this event, and take advantage of the gear removal event. So re-gear some teams, re-gear some champs, upgrade some gear, and I think it's overall good. Like I said, good lining up events, but the mistake from Plarium really affected negatively some people that whaled hard, whaled fast, and you know, they got really burned. And I think Plarium should compensate those people, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Best of luck, and see you guys in the next one.